evening, everyone. Dr. Charles Johnson speaking from Schwab Field on the campus of Brook Hill School in Bullard, Texas, and we're about to start the second game for the Tyler Apaches today, and we're ready for the first pitch. And Chloe Olson steps in for the Indian Hills Warriors. Swing and a miss. Dakota Stoughton is in the circle for the Apaches. Allie Kim will be at third base. Kendall Hernandez at short. Sloan Johnson at second. And Jody DeHart is the first baseman. Malia Olvera is in right. Tangela Smith is in center. And Jasmine Dodd is in left for the Apaches. Stoughton fires a little bit low, and the count evens at 2-2. It's twilight here in Bullard. The lights are on. It's a pleasant evening. It's going to get a little cooler, but still nice for a ball game in February. Olson swings and a miss, and Olson goes down for the first out of the game. So there's one down. Brings up number 14, Brooke Snyder. Brooke Snyder is a sophomore from Rhodes, Iowa. A little bit outside. There's one gone. We just started. The Apaches played an earlier game this afternoon against Howard, which they won 10-3. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. Hernandez bobbles it a bit, and Snyder's going to reach first on the arrow.
Now batting with runner at first and one out. Number 4, Macy Harrington.
Here's Macy Harrington. So there's one gone and one on. We're just started here. The Indian Hills Warriors from Ottumwa, Iowa. And your Apaches from Tyler Junior College. In this round-robin tournament, the Apaches have gone 3-0 so far and are looking to try to make it a sweep if they can win this ball game tonight. They won 2 ball games yesterday, and they won the first game, as I said, this afternoon against Howard 9-3. Macy Harrington is a sophomore from Macon, Missouri. Dakota Stoughton. There's a little line drive that's going to get into right field. Just by Sloan Johnson, the second baseman.
Now batting with runner first and second, one out. Number 18.
So the Warriors have two runners on with one out. There's a drive out to left field. Jasmine Dodd comes in and has it for the second out.
Now batting with runner first and second, 2 outs. Number 11, Brooke Tucker.
Here's Brooke Tucker, freshman from Indianola, Iowa. There's 2 down and 2 on here in the first. Stoughton fired a slider that slid over the heart of the plate after the batter thought it was going to be way inside. There's one that is a little bit inside. 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Dakota Stoughton, a sophomore at Tyler Junior College. Her hometown is Bennett, Colorado. Fouled off to the left. The count goes even, 2-2. We've just started here at Schwab Field. A pitch down a little bit. So it's 3-2, full count. Stoughton enter windup. There's a little tapper toward the second baseman. Sloan Johnson is unable to pick it up in time to make a play at first, so a little infield hit for Brooke Tucker.
Loaded, 2 outs. Number 19, Abby Sweet.
And here's Abby Sweet. Bases loaded. So the Warriors are mounting a threat here in the very first inning. Abby Sweet, a sophomore from Centerville, Iowa. Pitch a little bit outside. So the count evens. There's a pitch outside, and it's 2-1. On the sixth batter of this first inning, 2 down. The bases are loaded. There's a little dribbler to first. DeHart picked it up, and the batter running down first was able to dodge the tag. Coach Henderson wants to have a word with the umpire about possibly did the runner get out of the baseline to avoid being tagged, but umpire says things were okay. So the Warriors strike first. They have a run. The bases are still loaded. There's a strike. Is this Anna Voigt? Who's Anna Voigt? 1. Anna Voigt at the plate.
That was a tough ball that it did spin.
Two outs.
Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And Dakota Stoughton avoids big trouble. Leaves the bases stranded. But the Indian Hills Warriors managed to push across a run to take an early lead on the Apaches. So at the end of a half inning, the Indian Hills Warriors from Ottumwa, Iowa lead the Tyler Junior College Apaches 1-0. We'll be back in a moment.
Number 3, Jasmine Dodd.
Dr. Johnson, Dr. J with you. Here we go to the bottom of the first. And it's Jasmine Dodd, Maddie Hale, and Tangela Smith. 1, 2, 3 top hitters for the Apaches. We're in the first, and Indian Hills pushed across a run to take the lead in the top half. On the mound for Indian Hills, number 10, Alexis Croat, sophomore from Oskaloosa, Iowa. There's a strike on the corner. It evens the count at 1-1. Dodd fouls it off to the left. Dodd was 2 for 4 in the game this afternoon that the Apaches won 9-3 against Howard.
I'm sorry.
Another foul down the left field line.
I don't want to give you an inaccurate answer.
Jasmine Dodd, a sophomore from Bentonville, Arkansas. Up high for a ball. Foul back again, and Dodd stays alive. Inside, almost hit Dodd. And the count goes full, 3-2. It fires a little off-speed pitch that Dodd lines down to third for the first out. So Jasmine Dodd starts the Apache first with a line drive down to the number 9, Chloe Olson, the third baseman. That'll bring up freshman Maddie Hale, who's the designated player of this game. Maddie, a native of Corpus Christi, Texas. Swings from the left side. Maddie went to Flower Bluff High School in Corpus. The pitch. There's a strike. It's 1-1 to Maddie Hale. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Up high. I think it'll be cool right out there, Pete, if you want to. Foul back.
At least give me 5 minutes before you.
I understand. So the count is, I believe, full on Maddie Hale. But I'm not sure.
I got it 2-2.
All right, we'll see.
Probably you're right.
I don't know that I am. So just Maddie Hale stays alive and just barely tips the ball.
Yeah, but you got a doctorate, a bachelor's degree. You should be more right than me.
I can't see. One down. We're in the bottom of the first inning. A changeup, great pitch, and Maddie Hale goes down swinging.
Now batting with 2 outs. Number 7, Tangela Smith.
Here's the Apache center fielder, Tangela Smith, wearing a number 7 on her white Apache jersey this evening. It's outside for a ball. Apache's wearing a white jersey with gold trim on it with gray pants and the black and gold and white stockings. Here's a pitch inside. So it's 2 balls and no strikes. Apaches came into this tournament 13-1. They've won 3 games, and a little pop up. She tried to bunt, but got a little too much bat on it, and it popped it up to the third baseman, who caught it for the 3rd out. And the Apaches go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 1st. So the score after 1 inning of play: the Indian Hills Warriors 1 and your Tyler Junior College Apaches 0. Be back shortly. Back at Brook Hill School, Schwab Field, we're going to move to the top of the 2nd inning. Dakota Stoughton on the circle, or in the circle, for the Apaches. There's a pitch inside. It's number 15. Jalila Hart. Dakota fires a little bit low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. There's a ground ball to Allie Kim at 3rd, who fires over to Jody DeHart at 1st. And that's your 1st out here in the 2nd inning.
Now batting with 1 out, number 2, Tiffany Unkel.
That brings up Tiffany Unkel. Tiffany is a freshman from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Bats from the left side. One down. We've just started the top of the 2nd inning. She tries to bunt, but fouls it back. Around that Apache infield again. Kim at 3rd. Hernandez at short. Sloan Johnson at 2nd. DeHart at 1st. Destiny Dixon's behind the plate. There's a little line drive. Kendall Hernandez grabs for the out.
Now batting with 2 outs, number 9, Chloe Olson.
So we go back to the top of the order. Chloe Olson, who struck out her first time up. That was back in the 1st. There's a pitch on the outside corner by Stoughton for a strike. There's 2 down, and we're in the top of the 2nd with the Warriors having a 1-run lead. way outside for ball one. Chloe Olson is from Ankeny, Iowa. She's a sophomore. There's a strike. So Dakota Stoughton gets ahead of Olson. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We've got 2 down here in the second. And the pitch. She swings and misses. So Dakota Stoughton fans Chloe Olson for the second time, and it's 1-2-3 for the Warriors, and they go down in order. And so at the end of an inning and a half, the Indian Hills Warriors from Ottumwa, Iowa, lead the Tyler Junior College Apaches 1-0. Be back shortly. Apaches come up here in the bottom half of the second, and Malia Olvera, the right fielder, will lead off against Alexis Groet, or Groet. If we're mispronouncing it, we apologize. If any Indian Hills fans happen to be tuning in, we welcome you. Sorry if we mispronounce a few names along the way. Malia Olvera swings and misses. So it's a ball and a strike on the right fielder, Olvera. She takes the pitch on the corner in for a strike, and she falls behind in the count 1-2. Olvera is a sophomore from Deer Park, Texas. She let up on that pitch and barely missed the outside corner of the plate. Evens the count at 2-2. Groet pitches and Olvera fouls it back. Two the count. We just started the bottom of the second. The Apaches trail 1-0. Allie Kim will be the next batter up after Olvera. She'll be followed by Jody DeHart. Here's the pitch. Malia Olvera swings through it. Strike 3. So Malia Olvera failed to connect there and strikes out for the first out. And here's the freshman Allie Kim, number 18, who's playing third tonight. Allie's had a good tournament. She's hit the ball hard a lot. Strike on the outside corner. Several young ladies from Colorado on the Apache team, and Allie Kim is one of them from Castle Rock, Colorado. There's an off-speed pitch. Great pitch. Taken for a strike. And Kim falls behind 0-2. Up high, up high, ball and 2 strikes. Up high again. Count evens at 2-2. There's one out. Apache's batting in the bottom of the second. So far, they've gone down in order. That's what happened to the game this afternoon, and suddenly the bats came alive. And swings, and she misses. So Allie Kim goes down swinging for the second out. 2 strikeouts in a row for Alexis Groet from Oskaloosa, Iowa, a sophomore. And here's Jody Dehart, first baseman. Jody hails from nearby Lindale, Texas. There's a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. And Groet's getting ahead of these hitters, which, as I've said before, is a great plus. Foul back, and she falls behind 0-2. Two down, an 0-2 count on DeHart. A little bit outside. Jody DeHart held up just in time. She had a notion, but the appeal's made, but the umpires say she didn't go far enough around, so she's still in there. There's the off-speed pitch is low. Jody is a freshman at TJC. Groet looks in, has her sign. Swing and a miss, and Alexis Groet has struck out the side. 1-2-3 go the Apaches in the bottom of the second. 3 straight strikeouts. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. And at the end of 2 full innings, the Indian Hill Warriors lead the Tyler Apaches 1-0. Dr. Charles Johnson back with you at Schwab Field in Bullard. We're moving to the third inning. And Brooke Snyder, wearing number 14 on her uniform, a sophomore from Rhodes, Iowa, steps in there. She reached base on an error her first time up and later scored the only run of the game. Dakota Stoughton in the circle for the Apaches. She fires down low for ball 2, and she falls behind Snyder. There's a drive out in left center. It's going to be between the left fielder and the center fielder, and Brooke Snyder's going to motor into second with a double that rolled to the fence. So Brooke Snyder leads off with a double into the left center field gap, and Macy Harrington steps in from Macon, Missouri. She's a sophomore. Takes a strike from Stoughton. There's another strike on the inside corner, so Stoughton gets ahead in the count. The Warriors are coached by head coach Lindsay Dahl in her second season, assisted by Jennifer Marshall. Fouled off to the right. Swing and a miss. She struck her out. So Macy Harrington goes down swinging for the first out. And here's Peyton Moffitt. Peyton Moffitt from Des Moines, Iowa. Left-handed hitting freshman. She flew out to Dodd in left field her first at bat in the first inning. Dakota Stoughton fires, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. We've got a runner on second. That's Brooke Snyder, who doubled to left center to lead off this inning. And there's 1 out now. Dakota Stoughton hits the corner of the plate and gets the strike call. So it's two balls and 1 strike on Peyton Moffitt. There's a little pop fly that's going to fall in left field. It rolls away from Dodd, the left fielder. She throws to second, but Peyton Moffitt goes in with a double. And on that double, Brooke Snyder comes all the way around from second to score. So the Warriors have now increased their lead to 2-0. And they have a runner at second with 1 out. And Brooke Tucker's the batter. Takes a pitch inside. Tucker, a freshman from Indianola, Iowa. Inside ball 2. Pete, you know where Ottumwa, Iowa is?
Yeah, somewhere in the state of Iowa.
Right. I knew I could find out information from him.
An hour from Des Moines.
I'm not sure. There's a strike call. 2 balls and a strike.
I ain't got a clue. You get me past the troop, I don't know where it is.
All right. Stoughton in the circle. Trying to pitch out of a little jam here. There's a pop-up. Dakota Stoughton calls for it. She's under it, and she has it. So Brooke Tucker.
Now batting with runner in scoring position, 2 outs. Number 19, Abby Sweet.
Here's Abby Sweet. She singled her first time up. There's a strike on that inside corner. Don't mind telling you, I like umpires that call those corners.
How about another batter's box?
Swing and a miss. So Stoughton gets ahead of Sweet 0-2. She's given up 1 run in this inning so far. She has Peyton Moffitt at second. There's a little dribbler down the first base line, goes foul. Pitch a little bit outside. 1-2. The pitch
Yes.
outside. Abby Sweet, sophomore at Indian Hills Community College, and she hails from Centerville, Iowa. There's a pitch on the inside corner called third strike. Dakota Stoughton pitches her way out of further trouble. And so, in the third, the Warriors get another run on two base hits. And at the end of 2.5 innings, the Indian Hills Community College Warriors lead the Tyler Junior College Apaches 2-0. We'll be back momentarily. All right, we go to the bottom of the third. So far, the Apaches have had 6 up and 6 down, but Kendall Hernandez, the shortstop, hopes to change that situation. She steps in to lead off here in the bottom of the third. She takes a pitch down low from Alexis Groet, who's retired the first 6 Apaches that she's faced. Hernandez swings and misses. Groet seems to have a pretty good rise ball. It seems to be, so far, fooling some of the Apache hitters. They can't quite catch up with it. That one's up high, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Hernandez is a freshman at TJC. She hails from Waco Robinson High School. There's an off-speed pitch. Hernandez takes for a ball, and it's 3 balls and a strike, as Hernandez hopes to get something going for the Apaches, who through 2 innings have had their bats silenced by Alexis Groet. There's a pitch down low, and Hernandez starts it off for the Apaches here in the 3rd inning, drawing a walk.
Now batting with a runner at first and no outs. Number 10, Sloan Johnson.
So here's sophomore number 10, second baseman Sloan Johnson, stepping in against Groet. There's a pitch up a little bit for a ball. Johnson, one of the leaders on the team, a sophomore, who saw extensive duty last year for the Apaches. She bunts toward the first baseman.
That's a good bunt. Down. Yes, that's great running.
Heads up running by Kendall Hernandez on that bunt to the first baseman. Hernandez picked up that there was no one covering third, so she streaked all the way to third.
Position, 1 out. Number 13, Destiny Dixon.
So she winds up at first. There's 1 out. Sloan Johnson, very productive bunt. So there's 1 down, and Kendall Hernandez is at third, and Destiny Dixon, the catcher's up, takes a strike. Here's the pitch. Up high again. So Dixon's hoping to get the Apaches on the board. Down low. Destiny Dixon hails from right here in Bullard, Texas. There's an off-speed pitch down low. The count goes to 3-1. She fouls it back, and the count has gone full to Destiny Dixon. Apaches trying to get on the scoreboard. They trail 2-0. We're here in the bottom of the third with a runner on third and one down. And a 3-2 pitch coming to Destiny Dixon. She fouls it back, stays alive. Payoff pitch is a strike. So Destiny Dixon takes a call, third strike, and she's down. And Groet did a good job there. She fooled Dixon. And so now there's 2 out with Kendall Hernandez at third, and it's going to be up to Jasmine Dodd to see if she can come through with some type of 2-out hit. She fouls it back over to the left. No balls and 1 strike. Dodd lined to the third baseman, her first time up in the first. Up high, and the count evens at 1-1. Kendall Hernandez, who walked and then went all the way around to third on a sacrifice bunt by Sloan Johnson. There's an off-speed pitch, a little bit outside. Catcher wants to have a little talk with Groet to maybe be sure that they're on the same page as far as what they want to do with Dodd here. So it's 2 balls and a strike. Dodd back in, ready to go. There's a pitch on the outside for ball 3, and it's 3-1. Three and one to Jasmine Dodd. A runner at third and 2 down here in the bottom of the third inning. Outside, ball 4, and Jasmine Dodd walks.
Now batting with runners at the corners and
So we have a runner at first and a runner at third now for the Apaches. And here's the designated player, freshman Maddie Hale, left-handed swinger from Corpus Christi. Inside, on the pitch, Jasmine Dodd moves down to second with a stolen base. There was no throw. So now with the Apaches have the tying runs in scoring position if Maddie Hale can produce. She takes a pitch outside. There's 2 balls and no strikes. So Groet's going to have to be careful what she's doing here. She throws one down the middle for a strike, and Hale took it.
Charles, you realize we got a no-hitter going here still? We ain't got a hit.
2 balls and 1 strike to Maddie Hale. There's a off-speed pitch that floats in, but just a little bit high and inside, and so Hale There's a 3-1 count. Down low, and Maddie Hale walks. So back-to-back bases on balls. And the bases are loaded.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Number 7, Tangela Smith.
And up comes Tangela Smith, the center fielder for the Apaches, batting third in the order. She tried to bunt and popped a little pop fly that was caught by the third baseman her first time up. Bases loaded, 2 down. Outside, ball 1. So Coach Lindsay Dahl calls timeout. She wants to have a word with Groet. It's the first Apache threat. And Groet has loaded the bases with base on balls.
He jams to this.
I love it. It's my jam. Is that what you youngsters call it nowadays?
As I mentioned this afternoon, this weekend here, Schwab Field has been dedicated to the memory of Coach Dobrinsky, softball coach at Bullard High School, who passed away last August. The gate proceeds, and a raffle for a couple of softball bats will go to help her family. All right, here we go. There's a strike, and that evens it up 1-1 to Tangela Smith. Nowhere to put Smith. Bases loaded. She swings and a miss. And it's a ball and 2 strikes on Smith.
2 outs.
There are 2 outs. And the Apache's threatening, but Smith's going to have to come through here. High and outside. Evens the count at 2-2. Alexis Groet's working hard out there. She's trying to pitch her way out of this jam that she got herself in by walking 3 Apaches. She swings and a miss. Strike 3. Tangela Smith goes down swinging. And Alexis Groet indeed gets herself out of a big jam with no damage done. So no runs, no hits. 3 men left on for the Apaches, and so we've played 3 here at Schwab Field in Bullard. And the Indian Hill Warriors lead the Tyler Junior College Apaches 2-0. Be back in a moment.
Apache baseball.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 1, Anna Boyd.
Dr. Johnson from Schwab Field in Bullard, and we're going to the top of the 4th inning.
All those games are at like 12.
And Anna Voigt, who struck out her first time up, is at the plate to face Dakota Stoughton. There's a pop-up back toward where we are in the press box, falls foul, and so Dakota Stoughton gets ahead, 0-1. Anna Voigt's a freshman. There's a little pop fly down the left field line rather. It falls foul, but no one could get over in time to get it. So Dakota Stoughton gets ahead to Anna Voigt. There's a pitch curved a little outside, and it's 1-2. The Warriors lead the Apaches 2-0, and we're just entering the top of the fourth inning here. Swing and a miss. And Anna Voigt goes down swinging for the second time.
Number 15, Jalila Hart.
So there's one down here in the Warrior fourth. Jalila Hart, who grounded to the third baseman Kim her first time up. There's a curveball that cut across the plate for a strike. A little bit inside. Stoughton, the sophomore, has the most experience of the Apache pitchers. Pitched a lot of innings last year. He was very successful.
I say come with a change up right here. She'll get out in front of
Is that the one where she was
Jalila Hart
so fast?
is your batter.
it. No,
There's a pitch too far outside. It's 2-2.
it was an attempt. She'll come with it right here. Come on.
On that inside corner for a strike.
What is
3 called.
What did she say?
Fastball. Inside.
Now batting,
So
2 outs.
Dakota Stoughton has 2 straight strikeouts here in the fourth. And Tiffany Unkel, I believe it is, a low scoring affair so far, unlike a number of these games earlier in the tournament, which were there's a foul down the left field line, evens the count at 1-1. We've had some big offensive shows here in some of the earlier games. So far, this is a low scoring affair with the Warriors leading 2-0 here in the fourth inning. Stoughton fires, and Unkel fouls it away to stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There's a pitch. A change up. It's fouled back over the screen. Tiffany Unkel stays alive. She's a freshman from Cedar Rapids. Here's a pitch.
No hitter, did he?
Inside. Looked like for a moment that it was going to curve and clip Unkel on the arm, but she avoided it. Fouled again. Unkel battling up there to stay alive.
She's a fighter.
2-2 the count. Here's a pitch. Got away from Destiny Dixon, the catcher, rolled back to the screen. It was down low. So it's a full count on Unkel with 2 down here in the fourth. Dakota Stoughton struck out the first 2 hitters she's faced here in the fourth. She has a full count on the hitter. There's a pitch. Fouled again. Kel's a little left-handed hitter and protecting the plate, and we've had to bring some new softballs out to the ump. We've fouled them. The supplies foul back somewhere. Here we go. On that corner, great pitch by Stoughton, and she strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3. Go the Warriors in the fourth. No runs, no hits, no errors. No one left on. So fans, at the end of 3.5 innings, Apache's coming to bat in the fourth, trying to get something going. They trail the Indian Hills Warriors from Ottumwa, Iowa. Apaches trailed 2-0. We're back with you at Schwab Field as the Apaches come up in the bottom of the fourth.
Now batting for your Apaches.
And their cleanup hitter,
Olvera.
the right fielder Malia Olvera, will lead it off against Alexis Groet, who's thrown a masterpiece so far. She got herself out of a bases-loaded jam in the last inning. First pitch is down low to Olvera. Malia struck out her first time up. It's outside for a ball. Two balls, no strikes on Malia Olvera. There's a pitch. Floats in there, an off-speed pitch. Good change-up by Groet. And it's 2-1 now on Olvera. Down low for ball 3. So Groet gets behind in the count. Three and one. There's a strike on that outside corner. And the count goes full. 3-2 to the leadoff hitter here in the fourth for the Apaches, Olvera. Up a little high. Another base on balls. And Malia Olvera works a walk to lead off the fourth. And here's Allie Kim, who struck out in the second inning. The Apaches get the lead run on this time. There's a pop fly back, out of play. Coming down the screen and onto the field of play.
It's like waiting for Plinko.
All right, Allie Kim gets ready. She bunts toward the first baseman, who picks it up.
That's a great bunt.
Nice bunt. First baseman picked it up and fired to the second baseman, who was covering first for the out. In the meantime,
Position 1 out. Number 8, Jody D. Hard.
Olvera moves to second, and Jody D. Hart steps in there. Hart was a strikeout victim her first time. One down and a runner on second this time. DeHart took it for a ball. It was a little high, and DeHart almost went for it, but she held her swing up. There's an off-speed pitch in there for a strike. Groet has used that pitch very effectively in the game so far. She throws the ball pretty hard, and that changeup is very effective when she gets it over. There's 2 balls and a strike now on DeHart. She's the Apache first baseman this evening. There's a call strike. The count evens up at 2-2. We have a runner on second and 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Down low, ball 3. 3-2 count. Malia Olvera is your runner at second. Jody DeHart is at the plate. Outside. So Jody DeHart is patient, and she works a walk off Alexis Groet. So here's Kendall Hernandez, the shortstop, who walked her first time up and got her around as far as to third, but they couldn't get her in. So we've got 2 on for the Apaches and 1 out. And Groet starts her with a fastball down the middle for a strike. Swing and a miss. Hernandez took a good cut at that, but couldn't connect. And she's down in the count 0-2. She gets just a little piece of it to stay alive. Balls in 2 strikes. Malia Olvera at second. Jody DeHart at first. It's in and a little bit high. A ball in 2 strikes now on Kendall Hernandez, freshman from Waco. Swings and he misses. She misses that high rise ball. She could not connect, and she becomes the second out of the inning. And it's going to be up to Sloan Johnson to see if she can come up with something with 2 outs, to see if she could get Apaches on the board. There's a call strike. Change up, floats outside. The count is even to the sophomore from Lampasas, Sloan Johnson, second baseman. There's a strike on the outside corner, and Groet gets ahead. She's trying to wiggle out of another jam like she did in the 3rd inning. Apache's looking to do strike 3 on the outside corner, and Sloan Johnson goes down swinging, or taking rather, for the 3rd out. And the Apaches threaten again, getting 2 runners on 2 bases on balls, but then Groet bears down and out Hernandez and Sloan Johnson to get out of the jam. And again, the Apaches are not able to push across anything. In fact, they've yet to have a hit through 4 innings. So I know that's, I'm sure, becoming a little frustrating for them. But we've still got a long way to go. And at the end of 4 innings, your score is the Indian Hills Warriors 2 and the Tyler Junior College Apaches 0.
Chloe Olson.
I'll do better. I promise. I'll do
I
better.
was just going to say it's the best scoreboard I've ever seen in a Tyler Junior College softball.
Well, we're moving
It's also my first.
to the 5th inning. The Indian Hills Warriors come up in their leadoff batter. Chloe Olson, a third baseman, steps in there.
You see what I said in Green the other day? I do like this.
A pitch inside in the dirt for ball 1. Dakota Stoughton on the mound for the Apaches. She's given up 2 runs on 5 hits.
We're top order.
There's a little ground ball stabbed by Stoughton, who turns and fires to Jody DeHart at first for the out.
Now batting with 1 out. Number 4.
So that's the first out in the 5th. And here's Brooke Snyder, who got on an error in the first and came around to score. And then she doubled in the 3rd, and she also came around to score. There's a little pop fly that Kendall Hernandez, the shortstop, goes over, gets under, and grabs it for the 2nd out.
Batting with 2 outs. Number
So there-
4, Macy Harrington.
So there's 2 down, and Macy Harrington, the right fielder, up for her 3rd time.
We don't have a baseball game tomorrow.
She singled in the 1st, and she struck out in the 3rd. We're in the top of the 5th. There's 2 down. The Warriors holding on to a 2-0 lead over the Apaches. Destiny Dixon wants to have a word with Dakota Stoughton. Whatever she had to say, she said it, and she's headed back behind the plate. And Macy Harrington's back in there ready to go. Stoughton delivers. Foul back. One and one the count. Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball to shortstop. Hernandez picks it up, throws to first for the out. Routine 6-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. And so the Warriors go 1-2-3 here in the top of the 5th. And Apache's coming to bat to see if they could do something about this lead. Because at the end of 4.5, the Indian Hill Warriors lead the Tyler Junior College Apaches 2-0. All right, fans,
Now batting for
we're back here at Schwab Stadium. This is Dr. Charles Johnson.
Dixon.
And the catcher for the Apaches, Destiny Dixon, is going to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. Dixon struck out in the 3rd. He fouls one down the left field line for a strike.
Thank you. I can sleep. Tell Slim.
It'll be Dixon up first, to be followed by left fielder Jasmine Dodd and the designated player Maddie Hale.
Chuck's kid.
Alexis Groet still on the mound for the Warriors. There's that off-speed pitch, but it down a little bit low. The Warriors have 5 hits this evening, and they've pushed across 2 runs. The Apaches have yet to do any damage. Down low, it's 2-1. Groet has, through the first 4 innings, has walked 5, struck out 8. There's a strike to Dixon.
2-2.
So it's 2-2 on the catcher, the Apaches, Destiny Dixon. High and outside. Dixon had a notion, but she held back, let the pitch go, wisely so for her. It was that rise ball that some of the Apaches have been having a little problem handling this evening. Groet into her windup. And Destiny Dixon lines one down the left field line, and she's on at first with a leadoff base hit. That's the first base hit for the Apaches, and it comes at a great time to lead off an inning.
Now batting with runner at first and no outs. Number 3, Jasmine Dodd.
So here's the top of the lineup. Jasmine Dodd up there, the left fielder. And Coach Dial is headed out to have another word with Alexis Groet. Head Coach Eric Henderson is having a little discussion with his players. Destiny Dixon, who just got that base hit, who will be at first. And Jasmine Dodd, who will be at the plate. And then Maddie Hale, who's on deck. Groet's going to stay in there. We're in the bottom of the 5th. The Apaches trying to mount some type of threat here. They've gotten their first base hit of the game. Destiny Dixon, a line drive down the left field line. There's a called strike. Destiny Dixon takes second. The ball gets away from the shortstop who was covering, and Dixon goes into second with a stolen base. A ball and a strike, or excuse me, no balls and 1 strike on Dodd. Up high. One ball and 1 strike. There's an off-speed pitch, just a little bit high. Dodd held back and took the pitch, and it's 2 balls and a strike. There's a pitch on the outside corner, and it evens the count at 2-2 on left fielder Jasmine Dodd. Again, we're in the 5th. Foul back.
Against Sam Houston. I can't wait till she gets her girls.
Here's a pitch. Jasmine Dodd swings at a pitch on the outside corner and doesn't get it, and she goes down swinging
Now batting
for the first out.
scoring position, 1 out. Number 14, Maddie Hale.
Here's Maddie Hale, designated player with a runner in scoring position. There's a ball on the outside corner for a strike. There's a fly ball out to center. It's not going to be deep enough. Destiny Dixon's going to travel on over to the third after the catch. Matty Hale flies out to the center fielder for the second out of the inning.
Now batting with runner in scoring position, 2 outs. Number 7, Tangela Smith.
And here's Tangela Smith up again with runners in scoring position. Tangela is 0 for 2, popped out to the third baseman and struck out. So she's hoping to try to get the Apaches on the scoreboard. She swings through the pitch. No balls and a strike on the center fielder, Tangela Smith. Fouls it off to the right, and she's behind in the count, 0-2. Destiny Dixon on at third, and there's 2 down and an 0-2 count on Tangela Smith. Here's a pitch, way outside. One and two. Smith fouls it off. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Smith. Groet looks in for her sign. She has it. It's outside. Count evens up at 2-2. The Warriors lead 2-0, and we're here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Smith lays off a high fastball. She had a notion, but she held back, and the count goes full, 3-2. Groet has 9 strikeouts tonight facing this high-powered Apache offense, and she's done a tremendous job so far. Just a little bit low. A changeup, and the Warriors thought that they might have strike 3 there, but the umpire said it was just a little bit low. So that puts Tangela Smith on at first. Dixon remains at second, or third rather. And here's Malia Olvera. Olvera has struck out and walked. Tangela Smith still second, uncontested. Catcher threw down to third, hoping that maybe Destiny Dixon might be caught off third, but she was aware of the situation. 2 balls to Malia Olvera. The Apaches have the tying runs in scoring position. If they can do something with 2 outs, and one of their better hitters up there. It's outside. Up. Correction, it caught the outside corner of the plate for a strike. So it's 2 balls and a strike on Malia Olvera.
That was more chalk than plain.
That ball is outside. 3-1.
We'll just keep going further.
3-1 to Olvera. Up a little bit, and Malia Olvera draws a base on balls.
Now batting with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Bases loaded and 2 outs.
Allie Kim.
And Allie Kim, the third baseman for the Apaches. She struck out and sacrificed in the 4th. In, infielders want to have a little chat with Groette, give her a little encouragement to see if she can wiggle out of this jam like she has a couple of others previously in this ball game. Groette's had good stuff, but her control has been a little off at times. She's walked 7 batters, but she's struck out 9. She's only given up the 1 hit earlier in this inning to Destiny Dixon. So here's Allie Kim. There's a strike, and she gets ahead of Kim quickly. Swing and a miss. Allie Kim failed to connect. I'm sure she's thinking that's a pitch I should have done something with, but she missed it. It's 0-2. Here's a pitch. She pops it back. It's out of just over on the roof. A little delay roof noise there. All right, Allie Kim down in the count, 0-2. The Apaches have the bases loaded, but there are 2 outs. We'll see if Kim can come up with some magic here. There's a pitch on just the outs, just a little bit outside. A ball and 2 strikes now. We're late in the game, bottom of the 5th inning. The Warriors are clinging to a 2 lead. Here's a pitch way outside and high. 2-2 the count on the freshman Allie Kim, Apache third baseman. She swung a hot bat so far in this tournament. We'll see if she can do something here in a crucial moment of the game. Here's a pitch. She hangs tough and fouls it back to the screen.
She swings a 38-ounce bat.
Here's a pitch. There's a little line drive out to the shortstop. Allie Kim hit a little liner that at first off the bat thought might get out of the infield, but it floated over to the shortstop who caught it for the 3rd out. And so the Apaches fail to score again, but they get their first hit. But Alex Groette has wiggled out of another jam. So at the end of 5 full innings, the score remains the Indian Hills Warriors 2 and the Tyler Junior College Apaches 0. Be back in a moment.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 18, Peyton Moffitt.
Welcome back, fans. We're going to the 6th inning, and the Warriors are going to send up Peyton Moffitt, Brooke Tucker, and Abby Sweet to face Dakota Stoughton, the right-hander of the Apaches. Well, Alexis Groette got out of a tough jam there with the bases loaded to get Allie Kim to. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. Henel Hernandez fields it. It fires to first.
Now batting with 1 out.
And there's 1 down.
11, Brooke Tucker.
Here's Brooke Tucker. She's the freshman from Indianola, Iowa. Tucker has a base hit her first time up and then popped out to the pitcher her second time up. That was back in the third. We're in the sixth. There's a strike. She gets it. Dakota Stoughton gets ahead of Brooke Tucker 0-2.
Yes, she went. Oh, you weren't even.
Appeal play said she did not go around. Indian Hills, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors so far. The Tyler Junior College Apaches, no runs, 1 hit, and an error. So far, the Apache bats have pretty much been silent. Primarily the good work by Alexis Groet. Dakota Stoughton goes full to Brooke Tucker. There's a nice pitch on the inside corner, taken for a call, third strike.
Now batting.
So Stoughton working hard to keep it close, hoping her teammates can come back in the late innings and pull this one out. They trail 2-0, but there's 2 down for the Warriors here in the 6th inning. It's fouled off by Abby Sweet. Sweet singled her first time up in the first, and then she struck out in the third. Pitch just a little bit inside. Stoughton has done a fine job tonight, but she still trails 2-0. She's given up 2 runs, only one of them was earned. She's walked no one so far, struck out 9. Here's a pitch. There's a little bouncer to Dakota Stoughton, who flips to Jody DeHart at first. And that's a 1-2-3 inning. And that's the 3rd straight inning, a 1-2-3, that Dakota Stoughton has put the Warriors down. So she keeps her team close. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Warriors here in the top of the 6th. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. The Apaches coming up, and they trailed to the Warriors 2-0. Be back in just a bit.
D-Hard.
All right, Dr. Johnson back with you here at the ballpark. And the Apaches are coming up in the 6th. The leadoff hitter for them will be Jody DeHart, the first baseman. And she has struck out and walked so far. And the Apaches are trailing 2-0, and they're running out of time. There's a strike. It'll be DeHart, Hernandez, and Johnson coming up here in the bottom of the 6th. DeHart fouls it back. And she's down 0-2. Groet, the pitcher's a sophomore from Oskaloosa, Iowa, and she's done a fine job here. Had a little control problems, walked quite a few, but she's managed to wiggle out of any jams. There's a little fly ball out to right to the right fielder, who didn't have to move much. And she hauls it in, and there's one down here in the sixth.
Now batting,
And
one out. Number 24, Kendall Hernandez.
here's Kendall Hernandez, the shortstop, who walked and in the third inning, got as far as third, but didn't score, and she struck out in the fourth. She swings and fouls it back. Timeout. The catcher goes out to talk a minute and give the umpire just a little bit of a break there. Groet has walked 7 tonight, and usually if you walk that many, you're usually in trouble, but she's managed to strike out 9 and got some strikeouts at most opportune time for her to get out of some tough jams. Give her credit. Kendall Hernandez has a 1-1 count on her. There's a pitch down low. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. One down, nobody on for the Apaches, and shortstop Kendall Hernandez looking to try to find a way to get something started. Up high, it's 2-1.
3-1.
Make that 3-1.
Sorry about
So Kendall Hernandez is hoping to find a way to, as I say, to start something for the Apaches. And she takes a pitch outside, and she does just that. She draws a base on balls and puts a runner on. The Apaches had a lot of base runners in this game, but they failed to get the big hit at the right time to get something across the plate, and they trail 2-0 here late in this game. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for Sloan Johnson, and it looks like it's going to be Brecklin Dennis.
Now batting for your Apaches, number 2, Brecklin Dennis.
Number 2, Brecklin Dennis, the sophomore. Usually the third baseman for the Apaches. She's been given a little rest this game, but now she comes off the bench to see if she can ignite or do some damage and get the Apaches going. Up high to Dennis. She's a little left-handed hitter. Got amazing power for a young lady that's not that big, but she's got big power in that bat. She pops it up to the third baseman, who comes in and makes the play. That was Chloe Olson. And so Groet got that ball in on
Now batting with runner at first,
Brecklin Dennis's hands, and she popped it up to the third baseman for the second out. And Kendall Hernandez remains at first. And here's Destiny Dixon, who has the only hit for the Apaches. That was back in the 5th inning, where she led off with a hit, but she was stranded on the bases. Dixon, the sophomore from Bullard, Texas. She's down in the count now, 0-2. Alexis Groet coming back. It seems to get tougher when she puts the runners on there. Pop back this way. The catcher comes back, but doesn't have a play on it.
Free call. He's the one pricing that all the time.
All right, we're in the sixth.
All of a sudden they get like
And there's
10,000.
two out for the Apaches. They have a runner on with 2 outs, and Destiny Dixon down in the count. There's a pitch way outside. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Dixon. She's trying to keep the inning alive. Popped it off to the shortstop, who comes in and makes the play. That was an off-speed pitch that Dixon was ahead, way out ahead, and couldn't handle it, and popped it out to the shortstop for the 3rd out. And again, the Apaches failed to do damage. No runs, no hits, and 1 left. And through 6 now. The Indian Hill Warriors hold on to their 2-0 lead as we go to the 7th. We'll be back with you in a moment. All right, we're back for the 7th inning. And Anna Voigt is going to lead it off for the Warriors to face Dakota Stoughton. Brecklin Dennis has gone in to play 3rd for the Apaches. There's a ground ball just down the line. It goes foul. Looks like Allie Kim has gone over to 2nd, Dennis at 3rd. DeHart remains at 1st, Hernandez at short. Swing and a miss. Outstanding slider by Dakota Stoughton as she works hard to try to give the Apaches a chance so they can stay close. They'll have one more try at it. And right now the score is 2-0, and Stoughton and her teammates would like it to stay right there. Count is 2-2 on the leadoff hitter, Anna Voigt, for the Indian Hill Warriors. There's a fly ball out into left field. Jasmine Dodd drifts over, and she's under it and takes it. And that's out number 1 here in the top of the 7th.
Now batting with 1 out. Number 16, Morgan Greener.
All right, we have a pinch hitter,
That's what it is.
Morgan Griner.
She spells it like that Baylor basketball player.
Morgan Griner.
She's not going to be able to.
Brittany, that's what it is.
Morgan Griner is going to pinch hit here. Morgan is a freshman from Ottumwa, Iowa, where the Indian Hills Community College is located. So we've got one down here in the 7th. There's a pitch on the inside corner that Dakota Stoughton gets ahead of the hitter. And there's one strike on Morgan Griner, who swings and fouls it off to the left. And she's down in a hole, 0-2. A little bit outside. 1-2 to Griner. There's a little tap back to Dakota Stoughton, who feels it, turns and fires to DeHart at first.
Batting with 2 outs. Number 2, Tiffany Unkel.
And that's 2 down here. Tiffany Unkel steps in. She's lined to short and struck out in her previous 2 at-bats. There's a little tap to Brecklin Dennis at first, who twisted her knee on the throw, but she seems to be all right. She made the throw. It went in the dirt, but Jody DeHart was able to dig it out for the out. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Dakota Stoughton. And that's 4 straight 1-2-3 innings that Stoughton has thrown for the Apaches, but the offense has been almost non-existent so far. Well, they have one more chance, and we're going to go into the bottom of the 7th with the Apaches trailing the Indian Hills Warriors by a count of 2-0. We will be back in just a moment.
Number 3, Jasmine Dodd.
Well, here's the last chance for the Apaches as they go to the 7th. And they've got the top of the order up. Jasmine Dodd, the left fielder, who's lined to the third baseman, walked and struck out. So she's 0 for 2. Last chance for the Apaches. Takes an off-speed pitch that floats down a little low, and it's a ball and no strikes on Dodd. She swings and fouls it down the third baseline to even the count at 1-1. It'll be Dodd, Maddie Hale, and Tangela Smith due up for the Apaches. Their last chance here in the 7th to do something about a 2-0 deficit. They managed only 1 hit off Alexis Groet. That was by Destiny Dixon back in the 5th. Two balls and a strike. On the leadoff hitter, Dodd. Groet looks in for her sign. She has it. Swing and a miss. Groet, who a fastball past Dodd that time, a little late in the swing. So we have a 2-2 count on her. There's a ball outside. The Apaches desperately need a base runner. Try to bring the tying run to the plate. So here we're a 3-2 count. Up high. And Jasmine Dodd works Alexis Groet for a walk to lead off the 7th inning, and that's just what the doctor ordered for the Apaches.
Number 14, Maddie Hale.
And here's Maddie Hale, designated player who struck out in the first, walked in the third, and she flew out to center in the 5th. Left-handed swinging freshman. She takes a pitch upstairs. One ball to Maddie Hale. Upstairs for ball 2. At this point, Groet has walked 9 and struck out 9, but she's only given 1 hit through 6 innings. But she's put the leadoff hitter on here in the 7th, and she's behind in the count to Maddie Hale. There's a strike on the outside corner. Good pitch. Hale took it, as she probably should have, with 2 balls on her, and the ball was just on the corner. So it's 2 balls and a strike to Maddie Hale. She pops one into center. Center fielder comes in. She has it. And Maddie Hale flies out to the center fielder for the first out here in the 7th inning, last chance for the Apaches, and we're going to have a pinch hitter now.
Now batting for your Apaches with a runner on first and 1 out. Number 20, Bailey Krolchek.
It's going to be Bailey Krolchek batting for Tangela Smith. Freshman from Corpus Christi, who's got the power to tie this ball game up if she happens to get one. There's a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Fouled off to the right. Jasmine Dodd is on at first via a walk. And here's Bailey Krolchek batting with 1 out. She was off balance on an off-speed pitch. She managed to flick her bat out and foul it off to the right. But Groet changing speeds beautifully. Bailey Krolchek hits one out into left center. It falls in there, and Krolchek has singled out into left center field, and she has the second Apache hit of the evening. And Jasmine Dodd leads, goes to second. A good job by Bailey Krolchek with 2 strikes on her. She fought off a couple, and she managed to pop it out into left center. So the Apaches have the tying runs on. And Malia Olvera, who's walked twice and struck out, up for the 4th time. There's a strike. Groet gets ahead quickly. Swing and a miss. rise ball that got up above the strike zone of Malia Olvera, and she missed it. So she's down in the count 0-2. She swings at a pitch and fouls it off to the right. She stays alive. Jasmine Dodd is at second. Tangela Smith, who's running for Bailey Krolchek, is at first now. Inside for a ball. Olvera's a veteran. She's a sophomore, and she's been in some tense situations before. We'll see if she can come through here for the Apaches as their last chance. Up high. 2-2. Catcher wants to go out to have a word with Groet. See what they want to do on this 2-2 pitch. Well, it's coming down to the wire here. The Apaches are making a little noise here in the seventh, their last chance. They trail 2-0. They picked up their second hit of the evening just a few moments ago, and they have 2 runners on. Down low, good eye by Malia Olvera. Ball was a sinker, and she managed to lay off of it. And now it's 3-2. In the ball game here. Olvera fights it off and fouls it down the right field line. It's in on her hands, but she managed to get the bat on it and stay alive. Dodd back to second, Smith to first. There's speed on the bases. The one in the gap. With the speed that the 2 runners have, this game could get tied, but we'll see if Malia Olvera can come up with some magic here. 3-2 on her. She hits a ground ball to the third baseman, who bobbles the ball. And everyone's safe. A bouncing ball to the third baseman. Took a little hop. She fielded it, but it went off her glove.
Now batting with the bases loaded, 1 out.
And now
18, Ali Kim.
So an E5, and Olvera reaches first. And now the Apaches are threatening again with the bases loaded and only 1 out. They have the tying runs. It's second and third. Tying run at second. Coach Eric Henderson, head coach of the Apaches, meeting with his base runners and player, while Coach Lindsey Dahl is out again talking to Alex Groet, and she's going to go with her. She's earned the right to try to work her way out of another jam. And Ali Kim, the freshman third baseman, who has sacrificed. She's struck out. She's lined out to the shortstop. She swings and misses for strike 1. So things have gotten tense here in the bottom of the 7th. Ali Kim fouls it back. The bases are loaded. A walk, a base hit, and an error have loaded the bases for the Apaches. And Ali Kim hangs tough. She fouls it back. She's looking to drive one somewhere. See if we can get the Apaches on the board here. There's a pitch outside. Groet essentially wasting a pitch. See if she could get Ali Kim to be a little over anxious and go for it, but Kim would have none of it. There's another pitch outside. 2-2. little drama here in the 7th. The Apaches are trying to come back and see if they can do something here. A rise ball, and Allie Kim swings and misses. Good pitch by Groet, and that's the second out. So it comes down.
2 outs. Number 8, Jody Dehart.
Jody Dehart is from Lindale is coming up. She struck out, walked, and flew out to the right fielder her last time up.
Pinch runner.
We've got a pinch runner going in.
Be number whatever.
Hannah Frank.
Hannah Frank is going to run for Malia Olvera. So Dodds at third, Tangela Smith's on at second, and now Hannah Frank, pinch runners at first. And the Apache hopes come down to freshman Jody DeHart. Tense game here. Up high. DeHart laid off a rise ball. The Warriors trying to get this last out. The Apaches trying to come back and either tie or win this thing. That was a beautiful off-speed pitch that floated right across there. It fooled DeHart. She couldn't do anything with it. She had to take it. And we're 1-1 in the count. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes on Jody DeHart. And indeed, the Apaches are down to their last strike. The bases are loaded. 1-2 on Jody DeHart. And she pops it down the right field line. They're chasing it, but right fielder can't reach it. So Jody DeHart stays alive. All right, 1-2. Back to action here. Foul back. On any ball hit in play, those runners will be off, and a base hit would probably tie up the game. Tangela Smith has exceptional speed at second. But it's up to DeHart to see if she can deliver here. And she's behind in the count, 1-2. There's a little pop fly, right, a line drive to the center fielder, right to her.
The final score of today's game.
Jody DeHart hit it hard, but it was right to the center fielder.
0.
And so they go down without scoring. They leave the bases loaded.
Good night and go Apaches.
And so the Indian Hills Warriors come through with a victory here over the Tyler Junior College Apaches in a tight ball game. And the Warriors win this ball game 2-0. There was 2 great pitching performances tonight. Alexis Groet be the winning pitcher. She gave up 2 hits, and that's all. She struck out 10 batters, 10 Apaches. She walked 9, but managed to wiggle out of some real jams. In fact, left the bases loaded here in the 7th inning. So a very, very good ball game and a good win for Indian Hills.
See you next time, Coach.
And so the Apaches winning streak is broken. And for first time in a while, they suffer a loss. It was a good ball game. take a look at it stats here in just a moment. Indian Hills scored a run in the first inning, pushed across another in the third, and that was it. Dakota Stoughton was masterful. The fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh inning didn't allow a base runner, but the damage had been done in the first three innings, and Indian Hills held on to that 2-0 lead. For the Warriors, Brooke Snyder had a hit. Macy Harrington had a hit. Peyton Moffitt had one hit. Brooke Tucker had a hit. Peyton Moffitt had an RBI, as did Abby Sweet, was 1 for 3, and she had an RBI. So a good ball game, a tense ball game. The Apaches had a lot of base runners, but they couldn't get that one hit that would score a run or two to let them tie or go ahead in this ball game. So give the credit to Alexis Groet, who pitched a great game for the Warriors, sophomore from Oskaloosa, Iowa. Well, this is Dr. Charles Johnson. I've been pinch hitting for Dr. John Groth, who's the regular voice of the Apache baseball and softball teams, and appreciate the opportunity to call the games this weekend. The Apaches win 3 out of their 4 games this weekend, a successful weekend for Coach Eric Henderson and his assistant coaches Courtney Campbell and Haley Holland. On behalf of the Tyler Junior College Athletic Department, Kevin Vest, Athletic Director, Mr. Chuck Smith, Associate Athletic Director, Kelsey Weeks, Assistant Athletic Director, Derek Talcott has done duty here as the public address here at Schwab Field, done a good job, and Pete Mandolia has handled the scoreboard duties, and I appreciate their efforts. Anyway, it was glad having those of you join us for these games this weekend, and we look forward to you joining us again in the future. So this is Dr. Charles Johnson from Schwab Field on the campus of Brook Hill Schools here in Bullard, Texas, outside Tyler. With the final score of tonight's game, the Indian Hill Warriors from Ottumwa, Iowa 2, and the Tyler Junior College Apaches 0. Hope to have you tune in the future, fans. Good night and so long.